This conference will now be recorded.
So today let us enter into the next part of the course, and very important, that is frameworks. So before we enter into frameworks, let us understand one of the very important tool which we use in order to create the projects, that is Apache Maven tool. Maven tool, it is from Apache company. So what is this Maven is like? Maven is a powerful project management tool, mainly to create the projects. So Maven is used to build the projects. The main use of going with Maven tool is like, if you remember, in jdbc, in order to connect to MySQL database, we have downloaded one jar file, that is MySQL connector Java some 8 version jar file. After downloading, we have added to the build path. In the case of web applications, we copied into lib folder of webinf. Here only one jar file, no issues. But when we come to the frameworks like Hibernate and Spring, we may require to add so many jar files. So remembering the name of the jar files, downloading the jar files, adding to the build path, it is the complex part of the developers. So this is the place where we use this Maven tool. So okay, the main use of going with Maven tool is, Maven is used to add the project dependency jar files into the project. This is the main use of going with Maven tool, to add the project dependency jar files. You can even simply say project dependencies. Then Maven is used to create the right project structure. Means once you create the project, Maven will help you out where to create .java files, where to create HTML files, like that. It's going to provide the structure to us with some sample files inside. So I'll explain what is this project right project structure once we create the project. Maven is used to build and deploy the project. Now let us see how to create a Maven project. Creating a Maven project. So in order to create a Maven project, just let me show this Maven project in Eclipse. Open Eclipse. I have taken a new workspace here. Let me close this welcome screen. Now to create a Maven project, just in the menu, click on File and see New. At the top, you can see Maven project. Then in this window, just to click on Next button. Here in Catalog, we have to choose Internal. In Catalog, we can choose Internal, and in Artifact ID, we have to choose this one, Maven-Archetype Quick Start. It is for standalone applications. Quick Start is for standalone. If I want to go with web applications, if you scroll down, you can see web app. Maven-Archetype web app. It is for web applications. So for now, let us go with Quick Start. Choose this Quick Start and say Next. Then it will ask you the group ID. So you can go with any group ID. I'll say it like Maven. Let's say Maven. Artifact ID means the project name. The project name what you want to create. So I want to go with the project name like first Maven project. Then package. Package means where you want to create your .java files. So I'll say com.maven. This is our package where it is going to create our .java files. Now click on Finish button. So which is going to create the project here, first Maven project. Now let me document how to create Maven project. Click on File, New, Maven project. Click Next. In Catalog, select Internal. In Artifact ID, select Maven-archetype-quick start. Click next. Then it will ask you the group ID. Provide the group ID like Maven, anything. These values are our wish. Artifact ID means the project name. First Maven project. This is our project name. In package where you want to store your .java files, I'm going with pom.xml and click finish. Once you create the project using Maven, you can see the project here. And if you expand this project, see under, you can see the folder C, src main Java. Here you can see the package name what we have created now, com.maven. Here you can find one sample file, app.java. So which indicates this is the right project structure, means Maven will help you out where to create .java files. So .java files need to be created under which folder? src main Java. And you can see src test Java. In this folder we create the test cases. So the JUnit test cases we'll be discussing soon how to use JUnit tool also. Right? So src test Java we go with the test cases. The JUnit test cases what we create. And the very important file here is pom.xml file. This is the very important file in Maven. See here, if you open pom.xml file, the root tag is project. Remember the root tag of all XML files. And in this pom.xml file only, we add the project dependencies. Right? How to add, we'll discuss today. So what is the important file under this project here? When we go with Maven tool means pom.xml file. So what is this POM means? Project object model. POM means project object model. In this pom.xml file, we add the project dependencies. Project dependencies. Project is the root element of pom.xml file. Project is the root element. Right? Now, understand carefully. Now let us see how to add this MySQL connector jar file into the project using Maven now. Now this is the main step of Maven tool. To add MySQL-connector-java 8.0.30.jar file into the project using Maven. For this, what you need to do is just go to search engine like Google and search here for MySQL connector Java Maven. End with Maven. Just any dependency you want to add, any jar file you want to add, just type that and end with Maven. Let me show this. Open search engine like Google and search here for MySQL connector Java Maven. First link what you are getting is Maven repository, mvnrepository.com. This is the link. Open this link and this is the URL you can use. And here you can see the versions here. Here you can see the versions. Okay. So whichever the version you want to choose, you can choose. Now let us suppose, understand carefully. Let us suppose in our operating system, we are having MySQL 5 database server installed. Then I need to add 5 version jar file here. So I can choose here any 5 version. I'm going with 5.1.45, some 5 version. Then once we choose the version, if you scroll down, you can see this box. This is important for Maven. Just what you need to do, just to click in this box. If you click in the box, the code will get copied. Now once we copy this code, come back to Eclipse, and in between dependencies element in this pom.xml file, in between dependencies element, we have to paste that. Copy and paste work. That's it. Copy and paste work. Just we have to copy the code from Maven repository, come to your pom.xml file, and in between dependencies element, we have to paste that code. Once we paste it, then just to save the file. Once we paste this code in between dependencies element, save the file. That's it. Now see, in Maven dependencies, under your project in Maven dependencies, you can see the jar file got added into the project. So this is the way to add jar files into the project using Maven tool. Just to copy and paste work will add the jar files into the project. Here only one jar file, no problem. Here we are going with only one jar file. But in reality, when we come to the frameworks like Hibernate and Spring, we may require to add so many jar files. Just to copy and paste will add so many jar files into the project. Okay, so how to add this MySQL connector in Maven project? Once you create the Maven project, how to create Maven project? I'm repeating. Just to go to File, New, Maven project. Click Next. In Catalog, choose Internal. In Artifact ID, choose Quick Start. Say Next. Provide these values. Group ID, the project name, Maven project, and package. Pom.xml, some package. Once you click on Finish, the project will get created. Once you create a project, you can see the file pom.xml file. In pom.xml file, as we want to connect to MySQL database from our Java program, means we need to add the MySQL connector jar file. So here I'm adding just what we need to do, just to go to this Maven repository. See here like this, just it's very easy to go. Just to type in Google MySQL connector Java Maven, then open this Maven repository, then choose the version which you want to add. Choose the version. Let us suppose in our operating system we are having 5 version. Choose the version, scroll down, copy this piece of code. Just click in the box, copy this piece of code and paste over here in between dependencies element. That's it. Just to copy and paste work will add the jar file into the project. Here I am going with 5 version. Let us suppose we are not having Maven tool. Let us suppose we are not having Maven tool. We have created a simple ordinary Java project. And in our operating system, we are having MySQL 5 version installed database. So we have downloaded 5 version jar file and we have added to the build path. Now in future, we have upgraded our operating system with MySQL 8 version database. Then how to add 8 version jar file now? What are the steps? See, we have to remove the 5 version jar file which you have added to the build path of project. Then download 8 version jar file. Then add it to the build path. These many steps we need to do if I want to change the version of your jar file. But using Maven, changing the version is also very simple. Just to come to this element dependencies, and here you can see the version. Just to change the version to 8.0.30. Just to change the version and save it. Once we change the version and save it, see, it removes the 5 version jar file and it has added, see, 8 version jar file. So version management is also very easy by using this Maven tool. So the main use of going with Maven tool is to add the project dependencies, means jar files, into the project. So we'll be keep on using this Maven tool till the end of the course. Every day whenever we create project, we make use of Maven tool. And we'll be keep on adding the jar files into this pom.xml file. So what is the step here? So in order to add MySQL connector jar file, copy the below code and paste in between dependencies element of pom.xml file. And paste in between what? Dependencies element. Right? Just to copy and paste work will do add the jar files into the project. Well, however, I'll be sharing this code to you, complete code. You can copy from there also. From the document also you can copy. You need not go to Maven repository. So in the document, I'll be providing the jar files to you, the dependencies code. Just copy that code from the document and paste it in your pom.xml file. Clear all of you the introduction of Maven tool? Any questions? No. Let us move to the next part, that is frameworks. So what is a framework here? A framework is a group of predefined libraries. A framework is what? It's a group of predefined libraries which comes with set of jar files. It comes with what? Set of jar files. It's a library. And we need to add, in order to add these jar files, we use Maven tool. Then, what is the main need of going with frameworks is like frameworks will provide some common logics. Frameworks will provide what? Some common logics required for the project development. For the project development. Okay. So for example, this database connection will be there in every project. So this database connection, adding database connection, then closing of connections. These all things are taken care by the framework. We provide the connection, and one connection we can use for the complete project. So these common logics like closing operations, all these things are taken care by the framework. So once we start with the framework, we'll understand what is this common logics. Now, in our course, we are going to learn two important frameworks. One is Hibernate framework and one more Spring framework. Hibernate framework and Spring framework. Right? Coming to Spring framework, it goes with so many modules. So in our course, we'll be discussing the modules like Spring Core or Bean module, Spring DAO module. This is very, very important. Under DAO, it's mainly for database connection. We go with Spring jdbc module, Spring ORM module, where we integrate with Hibernate, Spring data JPA module. We go with one more Spring MVC module. This is mainly for database connection. It is used to develop, not database connection. DAO is for database, MVC is for to develop web applications. For web applications. Spring Boot module, very, very important. Spring REST module. This is for used to develop REST APIs. REST APIs is mainly distributed. One application can communicate to another application by using this REST APIs. Application to application interaction we do with REST APIs. Then, after Spring, even we go with microservices. Microservices using Spring Boot. And finally, we go with Angular framework. And in
Hi, Raj,
between,
I have a
even we see,
question.
just one second, JNet framework. Yes, setup.
Yeah, so REST API and RESTful API are the same or different API actually?
Both are same. Both are same.
Oh,
Both are
okay.
same. But here we are creating REST services using Spring. Using Spring. Okay, using Spring. We are having something like web services. So web services, in web services, we can go with REST web services also. That same thing we can do by using Spring very, very easily. Okay. So people are not at all going with web services directly now. Everyone is creating a project using Spring framework only nowadays. Clear setup.
Yeah. Okay. So
Any
is REST
project you
API
take, we
can be
use Spring.
used in Python? And Python framework, can I use REST API?
Yes, anywhere,
Okay,
any
good.
language,
Mm,
any
okay.
language. So if you remember, we discussed Java A introduction, and there we have seen AJB, right?
Mm-hmm.
AJB, some small introduction I've given, Enterprise Java Beans. And there also I said it is for distribution. But when you go with AJB, it is language dependent. Language
Yeah.
dependent means only Java people can use that. Only Java code can. The client should be only Java code. But when I go with REST web services for distributed application, that is language independent. Any language can access this. Any language. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right? So in our case, we'll be creating REST APIs. For example, I'll create a REST API which is used to accept the customer details, and I want to add that customer details into the database table. I'll create that API using Spring REST module. Once I create that API, from Angular, I want to access that. So Angular is running in different server, Java is running in different server. So this we have created using Java technology, let us suppose. So this REST APIs I can create using different technologies, like using Java, using .NET, using PHP, using Python. We can develop this. Now from Angular, whatever the REST API I've created using Java, I want to access it. So we'll be accepting the input from Angular, and we'll be calling this REST API that will take care of reading your form data and insert the data into the table. So this application and this application are communicating. That only we call distributed. Clear setup now, everyone?
Yes.
Right? We'll be seeing that applications. Okay. Right. So these are the frameworks what we are going to learn in our course here. Okay. So Hibernate framework, this will take 3 classes including today. Spring will go with the 6 classes. Microservices using Spring Boot 2 classes. JUnit framework 1 day we'll discuss, and Angular finally 3 classes. Right? So these are the topics which are left out for us to complete the course here. Right? Let us start off with the first one, Hibernate framework. Hibernate framework. Hibernate is an ORM framework. Hibernate is what? ORM framework. ORM stands for Object Relational Mapping. ORM stands for what? Object Relational Mapping. Let me elaborate. What is this ORM using a diagram? ORM, let me elaborate. Here we are having one definition called as POJO class. POJO class. So what is this POJO? POJO stands for plain old Java object. Plain old Java object, which is a Java Bean class without events. This is what a Java Bean class without events. You can even simply say POJO class Java Bean also same. It's like a synonym you can consider. So the difference is like when you take POJO class, it should have private properties, constructors, setters, getters, and toString method only. No other event methods. No other event methods. No calculation methods. Such type of classes only we call POJO class. Like example, if you go with a class, should be public employee. I'm going with a class employee with private properties like private int. Let me take small ones. Envo, private string ename private double salary. So these are private properties. Then for every property we should have a setter method and getter method. Public void set envo, which takes envo as an argument, and we'll say this dot envo equal to envo. We are setting the value to the property using setter method. Then getter method, public int get envo. When we call the method get envo, which returns the value of envo. Like that, we can have setters and getter methods for every property. Once we create this project class, let us create object of the project class. Let us create object. So to create objects, employee emp equal to new employee. We are creating object of project class. Once we create object, set the value. So to set emp dot set envo, where I am passing 111, emp dot set ename will go with some name, emp dot set salary will go with some salary. Right? So we are setting the value. Now the object is ready with values. Now what I want to do, I want to take this complete object data and insert into the table. So let us consider we are having a table over here, employee table, which goes with the columns like envo, ename and salary. Envo, ename and salary. So now what I want to do, I want to take this complete object data and insert into table. Then how to write this code using jdbc? Using jdbc. So when you go with the jdbc, we have to load the driver class and establish the connection. After getting the connection to the database, we'll go with prepared statement st equal to con dot prepare statement, and we'll use the command insert into employee values double quote plus emp dot get envo double quote plus emp dot get envo plus double quote. Whenever you want to replace the value of variable, what we have to use double quote plus the variable name plus double quote. Here I am calling get envo. So when you call get envo, what is the value of envo? 111. That 111 will be passed over here. Then next single quote double quote plus emp dot get ename, which gets the value of your ename and replaces over here. And y single quote varchar string. Then double quote plus emp dot get salary, which takes the value of salary and replaces the value over there. Then we call the method st.execute update. Then the insert command will get executed and the record will get inserted into the table. This is the way we write the code using jdbc. Clear this jdbc code, all of you? Even yesterday also I discussed it related to this or related to customer. Same thing here. Right? Now let us understand the drawbacks of jdbc code. The drawbacks are like, in future to this employee class, if I add something like designation, if you add designation, do we need to come back to this jdbc code and modify the code? Yes, right? We have to come to this jdbc code and modify the code. We have to say again emp dot get designation like that. Means whenever our project class is getting updated, every time we have to come back to jdbc code and update our jdbc code. That is one drawback, because jdbc is not object oriented. It won't play with the objects directly. It won't play with the objects directly. That is one drawback. And one more drawback is, we are writing this jdbc code to connect to MySQL database. We have written this jdbc code, we have connected to MySQL database. In future, we have updated our database to Oracle. We have changed the database to Oracle. So when you change the database to Oracle, again we have to come back to jdbc code and modify the code. Sometimes even SQL commands also. Not only database connection, we have to even modify our SQL commands also, because SQL commands may differ from database to database. Some small syntax differences will be there between database to databases, some commands. So because JDBC is database dependent, JDBC is what? Database dependent. So what are the drawbacks of JDBC? It is not object oriented and database dependent. So this is the place where we come to ORM. The solution for this one is, the solution given by Java is ORM frameworks. Like Hibernate. One of the ORM framework is Hibernate. In Hibernate, what we do, we simply call the method save and password object, or we can even say persist and password object. That's it. Your code is completed. We simply use the methods here. We play with the methods. And this method is common for any database. Any database, these methods are common. So it is database independent. ORM frameworks are database independent and object oriented. We are playing with the methods here. In future, if I add some more properties to employee class, nothing to worry. I need not touch our Java code, because I'm playing with object. Complete object data will get inserted. So when I simply call this save or persist method of EMP, then this complete EMP object will get inserted into the table. So what is our object data? 111, the name and salary. Right? Now, in this, what is this EMP? It is an object. What is this EMP? It is an object. And employee table. Tables, even we call it as entity or relation. Tables are also known as what? Entity or relation. So this relation. So since we are mapping our object and relation, we are connecting object and relation. That's the reason the name has come, object relation mapping. Relation means your database table only. Object relation mapping. We can take an object and insert into table. We can even take the record from table and keep it back into the object. Both the directions are possible. So this concept only we call object relational mapping. Clear this ORM, all of you, the introduction. So during interviews, they'll ask you, Hibernate is what type of framework? Means you should say Hibernate is an ORM framework. And what is ORM? ORM stands for object relational mapping, and you should be able to elaborate this, the need of going with ORM. They'll ask you what is the need of ORM, then you can elaborate the same diagram. Instead of employee, you can go with any other class also. Okay, right? Any questions, anyone? Right. So let me stop here for today, and we'll be developing the complete application of Hibernate in tomorrow's class. In tomorrow, we'll be developing the complete Hibernate application. We'll be inserting a record. We'll be creating a project class. We take the object of project class and we insert into the table. Okay, that complete application we'll be seeing in tomorrow's class. Okay.